Hello, hello, happy Sunday, and welcome. I am so glad to be here with you as we say goodbye to another week and open our arms up and set our destination for the coming week ahead. As we are gathering together, if you would make sure and drop a note in the chat. Let us know where are you tuning in from. And hopefully you're safe and everything's okay. We are literally having incredible flooding here in Connecticut. Like I've never seen. I had this alert on my phone earlier today, this emergency alert. So I hope that you are safe, and I'm so glad you're here. Oh, Jessica, so great to have you back. Beth, how awesome tuning in from Ireland. Yeah, Jessica, I hope it's not your way either. And Judy from Texas. Melanie, hello. Melanie is one of our beloved Insight Timer teachers. So if you are an Insight Timer teacher and you're joining us today in the chat, let us know when your next live is. Make sure and say, hi, my name is, whatever your name is on Insight Timer, so we can get people to follow you as well. Oh, Diane is first time from Pittsburgh. Fantastic. Ooh, Luann, you're in Central Mass. I hope that the nasty weather is not coming your way. Susie Sams, another wonderful Insight Timer teacher. And Jessica and Zen coming in from Texas. We have people from all over. Hey, Liz, you're from Philly. I am a born and raised outside Philly girl, so my hometown there, huh? Yes, Melanie. Oh, how wonderful to have everybody gathering. So I love that you're chatting and saying where you're tuning in from. I'm also curious to know, how are you feeling? Like for real, not this, oh, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. Yeah. Yeah, that's like so exhausting, isn't it? I want this to be a place where we can come and for real be like, oh my gosh, I had a really awful, awful week. And then kiss it goodbye and then open up our arms. This is why it is goodbye anxiety. Hello, freedom. Let's say hello to the freedom of a fabulous week ahead, of being able to maintain our calm regardless of what's going on around us. Because, as I said, this crazy weather today, I could be freaking out and, oh my gosh, what if I lose my internet? If I lose my internet, I think you'll understand, right? Oh, stuck at, yeah, and Susie, you're stuck at the airport because of that. I hope you do get home safely this evening, and I love that you're tuning in from the airport. I think I might have a few things up my sleeve here to help you maintain your calm at the airport. And I hope we see you doing another live on Insight Timer soon, Susie. So, as we are gathering, let me just real quick let you know what we're doing today. Again, think I've figured out that three is my number. So, we've got three things we're going to cover today. And it is, what is this 333 rule for anxiety? Also, we're going to be talking about gratitude, and I think that's something you're going to understand. Hang with me, you're going to hear me talk about gratitude because it changes everything. It has truly changed my life. Going from when, oh, yeah, I could tell you everything that was wrong to, oh, I can tell you everything that's right. And then another one of my favorites to talk about, sleep, because many of us are having challenges. And my sleep issues 30 years ago, yeah, I've been around for a while. My sleep issues are why I do what I'm doing now, because it was awful. And I have devoted the past 25 years researching ways to calm stress and anxiety and to sleep better. So I'm going to do a whole class on sleep when we change the clocks in, what is it, like probably late October, early November. I don't know when it is this year, but as we change the clocks, I'll do a whole show just on sleep techniques, but we will touch on that today. So, as we have started our last couple of lives, we are going to start this one. Even if you haven't been with us before, it's real simple. We're going to breathe for 90 seconds. And it's because of the 90-second rule. Neuroscience has proven now that the lifespan, the chemical lifespan of an emotion It's only 90 seconds. Wait, but I can still feel that anger hours, weeks, months, years later, right? It's not because the emotion is still there, it's because we keep dragging it up. So if you're comfortable and you're not driving, certainly, close your eyes or let them come to a soft gaze. And we're going to breathe for 90 seconds. Whatever way works best for you. I'm not a big believer of, oh, you have to do it my way. Just come to your breath. Nancy, hi from Long Island. Josh, good to see you too. And just come to your breath and notice, as always, when we come to our breath, our mind starts getting a little overactive sometimes. And we start thinking about, what am I going to make for dinner later? Oh, and well, what about that? That's okay. You're not doing it wrong. It's just your mind trying to distract you. And oh, that's right. Come back. Every time we come back to our breath, it's that habitual reinforcement of, oh, I step away, I come back, and I come back. We just got about another 30 seconds, so stay with me. Just focusing on your breath, whether it's coming in and out of the nostrils. You notice the rise and the fall of your chest. Simply noticing your breath, maybe noticing your neck and shoulders starting to relax, your back relaxing a little bit, your hips. Boy, I took a great yin class this morning to help my hips. And that's it. 90 seconds. Hi, Violet. So glad you are joining us. You missed, I said earlier, if you are a teacher on Insight Timer, as I know Violet 108 is, she and Melanie do these great Ask the Guides programs with different teachers from Insight Timer. So if you are a teacher on Insight Timer, feel free to put in the chat your name and maybe one of your meditations or when your next live is, because we want to make sure that we share, that we really, build up this community. I totally, oh, Carrie checking in from Western Australia. Thank you. Nice to see you today. It really, I believe that a rising tide raises all ships. So as the other teachers are joining, I want to make sure and highlight and spotlight them again, right? So we're talking about, always talking about habits and how repetition is key. I'm going to share different techniques today than I have in the past, and I'm always sharing new techniques, not because you have to learn all of them. I put 35 in the book that I wrote, but it's not because you have to learn all of the techniques. It's about, oh, let me give you a buffet. And ooh, okay, you find two or three of these that really work for you. And then the more you practice them, the more they become a new neural trait in our brain. And I'm not going to go into all the science behind it, but I'm a hypnotist. I've been studying our brains for over 20 years now and how easy we can rewire our brains. So as I share these different techniques, I know some of you have been in with me a couple of times now, and I talk about buddying up for the accountability, because when you have an accountability buddy and say, all right, we're going to check in, have you been doing these? You're much more likely to actually succeed. So today we're going to cover the 3-3-3 rule for anxiety. We're going to talk about sleep. And who wouldn't love to learn to sleep better? And we're going to start with gratitude. I love this prayer from Meister Eckhart. If the only prayer you ever say in your life is thank you, it will be enough. How simple is that? And a lot of times I will talk about gratitude and talk about waking up in the morning and thinking, but also more importantly, feeling the gratitude, writing it down. What are you grateful for? What's right now? But for today, I really want to focus on simply meditating on that's precious prayer, whoever, whatever you pray to, or even if it's not a prayer, just the mantra of thank you. And as you breathe in, think, thank. And as you breathe out, you, thank you. So go ahead and close your eyes or let them come to a soft gaze. And on your own breath, think, thank you. Because sometimes it's hard to think of something to be grateful for. And sometimes it just feels like, oh, what is there to be grateful for? And so that's okay without struggling. Just thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And as you're breathing, thank you. Check in. Just check in, do a little quick body scan, and notice how that feels, right? Even just this simple mantra, this simple prayer of thank you, thank you. I don't know about you. I know for me, it just really, it makes me feel good. I feel happier. I feel calmer. So I'd really be interested to hear in the chat what this does for you when you think, thank you, thank you, thank you. What does that do for you? Does that help you to feel calmer? Does that help you to feel, ah, yes, Jessica, it does. It puts a smile on my face always, right? And that smile also is giving our brain a signal of, oh, we're happy, we're safe. And so then our brain starts sending the signals to, oh, okay, you're happy and safe. Relax, right? So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Alejandro, it is simple and it is so powerful. And truly, the foundation of everything I share is simple because simple shifts are what create lasting change, right? I have a book on my shelf that's like, it's a 400-page book that I bought for research. It got some stuff on anxiety. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would never read it. I missed the window of return, so it's still in my house, but I would use it as a doorstop instead of reading it because it's got to be simple, right? If it's simple, especially in our technological age, right? I feel like in some ways my attention span has just shrunk to that of a gnat because there's so much information coming at us. So my whole focus is I will always share very simple things. And if some time you find me doing something that's not so simple, call me out on it because simple shifts are what create lasting change. Um, if you've never meditated before and you're introduced to meditation the way I was many decades ago, of you need to practice 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night, I felt like, oh my gosh, that's just way too much. That's way too big. I can never do that for 20 minutes. But I can start with 1 minute and then maybe build up to three and then five. You see how it's simple and you get that repetitive, habitual wiring of your brain. So now that becomes, oh, this is what I do. It's natural, right? So then maybe you build up to 20 minutes or not. My practice is about 10 minutes in the morning, and then I'll always pick up something in the after. Oh, wow, Alejandro, if it's not an hour or more, it's not meditation. I agree. Absolutely not. Right. So, again, I really don't believe that one size fits all. This is why I share all these different strategies because I want you to like pick and choose and say, that's not so much. This one, yeah, and double down on it because then when you find what works for you and you practice it again and again and again, it becomes that neural trait, that habitual pattern. And I can tell you, and my husband is upstairs recording this on his machine. He would agree. His head would be nodding when I say, oh, yeah, I used to be so stressed out and so worried about absolutely everything, but I trained my brain to find calm. And it doesn't mean, oh, Alejandro, thank you so much for your generous donation. That's very, very sweet of you. So it's not about, oh, great, goodbye anxiety. I'm never going to feel anxious again because it's the world, right? It's the world that we live in. But when we can maintain our balance, when we can be hit with something and easily, quickly find our calm, that to me is how we find that ebb and flow of life instead of the roller coaster that I used to feel like I lived on. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I don't want you to just practice that like when something goes wrong, like, when I got this emergency alert on my phone earlier, literally, I have never seen that before. It was, this is dangerous, life threatening emergency. And I would have freaked out in the past. But because I don't wait until that to practice these techniques, I was able to go, huh, okay, take a breath and move forward. So I want you to practice these things all the time throughout the day. And I'm not talking like once a day, you say, oh, thank you, right? But to practice them when you're driving in the car. You see something, see a beautiful flower and say, thank you. See an accident and say, thank you, because you're safe, right? You also want to send them good wishes. But the more you say thank you throughout the day, then when something unpleasant happens, chances are you'll be a little better able to find your calm and find your balance. Okay, anybody here ever have issues with sleep? I'm going to see, like, all the comments are going to go flooding past so fast I won't be able to see them because so many of us are having struggles with sleep. And as I said, I'm going to do a whole show just on sleep when it comes time for the time change here in the States. So that'll be like the end of October or the beginning of November, whenever that is on the calendar. But I'll share a couple of things with you tonight that my night, it might be your morning, depending on where you are in the world, but a couple of things about sleep that are, again, those simple shifts. Alejandro really tuned in on that one. Simple shifts, right? So, just real quick, my story, like why I do this, was because I, in my last career, my last job on the radio, excuse me, I was on the radio doing the morning show. So I was getting up at 3 in the morning, two small kids, one was still in diapers, and I developed insomnia. And if you've ever experienced that, I know a shudder just went through you because it was one of the most painful things I have ever experienced. And so I went to the doctor, and the doctor gave me a prescription, and it worked for a short time, and then it stopped. And I was like, oh my gosh, now what do I do? So I have spent, almost 30 years now researching simple ways to be able to find my way to sleep and to stay asleep. And oh, by the way, the doctor said when I had this experience with the insomnia, well, that's because of your anxiety, which I didn't know I had struggled with for the first half of my life. So I'm going to share two quick things so simple to help you to sleep better. The first is, that state when you go and like you're ready to go to bed and you put your head down on the pillow, which is not, by the way, when our sleep issues start, but that'll be in the next class, right? So you put your head down and you're not quite awake, but you're not quite asleep yet. Literally, that is called the hypnagogic state. And it is a state identical to hypnosis. So it is a perfect opportunity for us to program in what we want to have happen, as opposed to what I used to program in was, oh my gosh, what if I don't sleep tonight? Oh my gosh, what if I wake up and then I can't go back to sleep and how am I going to function? Well, it became a self-fulfilling prophecy because I was in this highly suggestible state and programming in exactly what I didn't want. So, what if tonight instead you put your head down on the pillow and you go, oh yeah, she said I could program in what I want. Oh, I have had a, like languaging it in the past, I've had a problem sleeping, but what if tonight I'm able to drift off easily? and sleep peacefully. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Right? By asking it as a question, that opens our brain to start like a Google search looking for reasons. Why is it so easy? Right? So we practice programming in what we want to have happen. Um, Yes. Oh, that's beautiful, Susie. Yes. And I love that. Your thoughts moving through like a sieve. That is absolutely beautiful. So, if any of you watch the Olympics, oh, these incredible athletes who are doing mental dress rehearsals before all of their competitions, we can use that same brain technology for when we want to go to sleep. We can program in what we want. All right, so tonight, as you are in that dreamy state, program in what you want to sleep peacefully, to wake up feeling rested, awake, and alert. And then I have a wonderful breathing meditation. And it is, again, so simple. It is the 1 to 8 to 1 to 8 breath technique. And so I'd love for you to do this with me. It's really simple, right? Simple shifts, lasting change. As you breathe in, you can do this eyes open or eyes closed. As you breathe in, think 1. As you breathe out, 2. Breathe in 3. Breathe out 4. Breathe in 5. Breathe out 6. Breathe in 7. Breathe out 8. Breathe in 7. Breathe out 6. Breathe out 5. I'm messing this up, but inhale 1, exhale the other, right? So you're going 1 up to 8, back down to 1, back up to 8. And all of a sudden you're going to find yourself, I promise, you will find yourself at like 17 or 23 and think, oh, wait, begin again, just like we do in meditation, right? But I'm interested, Jessica, how well your mom counting sheep actually worked, because it didn't work so well for me. And the reason I love this 1 to 8, 1 to 8 breath technique is you have to focus on, okay, just like I just messed that up, right? You have to focus on inhale 1, exhale 2, inhale 3. So your mind starts going somewhere else and you have to bring it back. Your conscious mind keeps, she liked pretending she was floating on a cloud. Okay, that might work really well too. But I invite you to give this a try tonight or the next time that you have a hard time either falling asleep, or this still is my go to. If I wake up in the middle of the night, this is my go to get back to sleep. And I will tell you, I've had clients that are like, oh my gosh, I slept for the first night in a very long time using this breath technique. So, again, that hypnagogic state, program in what we want, and then the 1 to 8 to 1 to 8 breath technique. I can't wait for you to come back next week and tell me how these work for you, because I think you'll be rather surprised at how much more sleep, how much better quality sleep you get this coming week. All right, you ready for the headliner of today's class? It's the 3-3-3 rule for anxiety. I'm kind of a numbers geek. My daughter and I are constantly texting each other numbers from the phone. If it's 333, 444, 555, you may be familiar with numerology or with angel numbers. So I'm really a bit of a geek about that. And numerology says that 3, which is my favorite number, the 3 is actually the number for joy. Ah, and I am always talking about joy. I'm also always choosing joy, right? I keep this here to remind me of joy. So, numerology says the number 3 is the number of joy. We also have 3 prime numbers, 3 primary colors, 3 wishes, the 3 bears, the 3 little pigs. So many areas where three shows up in nature, in our lives. And if we go all the way back to ancient Greek times, the philosopher Pythagoras, I hope I'm saying that correctly, said that this was the perfect number because the number three, you keep seeing 333, Elisa and Cheryl too. Awesome. So, three, the reason Pythagoras says that it is the perfect number is because it represents harmony, wisdom, and understanding. Isn't that wonderful? Those are all things that I want, and I would imagine that you do too, right? So, how do we use this 333 rule for anxiety? First thing is, and I'd love for you to do this with me real time, like do it right now. Find three things, notice three things that you can see and name them. You can just find them, but I find when you name them, it just takes it a little bit deeper, right? So I can see my computer screen. I can see my light. I can see my choose joy sign and name them. There's just something a little more intense about naming it, and you don't have to say it out loud. You can say it in the privacy of your own mind. So the first of the 333 is three things you see. Next is three things you hear. So for me right now, I can hear the fan, I can hear the rain outside, I can hear the traffic outside. This morning, as I was taking my walk in nature, it was under an umbrella because it's been raining all day. And I was noticing the sound, hearing the rain softly on the umbrella. Hi, Pam from New York. So glad you are here. So, three things you can see. Hopefully, you've named them to yourself. Three things that you can hear. And then what's the third three? The third three are three ways to move your body. First, for me, is bringing your hand to your heart. It's a gesture of humility and gratitude. Notice how we're combining things here, right? So bring your hand to your heart. It'll help you feel humility and gratitude. It also represents love and self compassion. And couldn't we all use a little more of both of those? Also, did you know that our heart, this is very interesting. I'm such a geek when it comes to this stuff. Our heart has 5,000 times more electromagnetic currents than our brain does. So our heart is actually sending more messages up to our brain than vice versa. So as we touch our heart, maybe stack it and say, thank you, right? Oh, now we're sending that message up to our brain that we're safe. And then our brain in turn send the messages, oh, we're safe. It's time to relax. We can turn our head, giving ourselves a different perspective. If you were with me last week, we did the perspective, the thumb thing. And if you weren't, you're thinking, what the heck is she talking about? Send me a message through the Insight Timer app and I'll explain it to you. It's pretty cool. But so, again, bring your hand to your heart. That's the one way to move the body. Turn your head to get a different perspective. And mudras. And trust me, I will say, I am not an expert on mudras. And I don't know, I tried to find somebody here on Insight Timer who is, and I don't know anybody yet, but we've got over a quarter million, um, yeah, over a quarter million free meditations here on Insight Timer. So I bet if you type in the search bar mudras, you'll be able to find information. But just for tonight, we'll keep it simple because you know I love simple. Oh, thank you so much, Jessica. You're so sweet. I am in Connecticut, about 2 hours north of New York City, Pam. Thank you, Magda. I'm so glad to hear you. And I love that you are mesmerized. All right, so let me not lose this. The three ways, right? The first is hand to your heart. Second is moving your head. And the third way is to do mudras. And a mudra is simply, again, I am not an expert, I'm simplifying this. It's simply your thumb and your fingers. And each finger has a different representation. I'm not going to get into that. Let's just go ahead and again stack this with metta, with a loving kindness meditation. So please do this with me. Put your thumb and your first finger together and say out loud or think, may I be happy. Thumb and middle finger, may I be healthy. Thumb and ring finger, may I be safe. Thumb and pinky finger, may I live with ease. How simple is that? 3, 3, 3. Rule for anxiety. 3 things you see, 3 things you hear, 3 ways to move your body. And when you practice this again and again and again, and I keep saying, I'm telling you, don't just like, oh, that was great, and think that, oh, the next time you get stressed, you're going to remember to pull this out. You won't. All right. It's just the way our brains are wired. Habits become habits out of repetition. Think about when you put on your pants. I'm right-handed, so I don't know if it has something to do with our dominant side or whatever. I'm right-handed, and I always put my right leg in my pants first. I've been doing it for decades. So it's just a habit. Like a lot of times you hear habits and we automatically think of bad habits, but it's just a habit. So if I wanted to change that habit and start, thank you, Pam. I'm glad this is your first time. So glad to have you here. Um, oh, thank you, Elisa. Rachel Zinman on IT hosts Mudra sessions. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. All right. So what I was saying about habits, right? Not all habits are bad habits. They're just habits because we have created these neural pathways from our brain to do the same thing over and over again. So if I wanted to start, I wanted to change that habit, and I wanted to start putting my left leg in my pants first, well, at first that's going to feel a little awkward. And I'm going to have to really think about it consciously. I'm going to have to think, all right, put my left leg in. But after a certain amount of repetition, it's natural. So the reason I keep talking about repetition is because when you practice these, when you're already calm, when you just, oh, you do these, like, oh, great, gratitude, got it. When you put your hand to your heart, when you turn your head, move your body in 3 ways. Notice 3 things you're seeing. When you practice these again and again, then when the hits the fan, you don't have to stop and think, oh, right? It's right there. So again, today, 3 simple things. We talked about the 3-3-3 rule for anxiety. We talked about gratitude. We talked about sleep, right? All these very, very simple strategies. So I'd love for you to, if you have friends that are here with you online now, I would love for you to buddy up with them and become accountability buddies for the next week, to check in each and every day to say, all right, how's that going for you? Are you practicing? Because when you do, first of all, if you just tell somebody, oh, I'm going to do this every day for the next week, you have a 65% chance of being successful at actually completing that. However, when you make an accountability appointment with a friend, there's a 95% chance that you will succeed at this. Again, how simple. You text your friend every day. Hey, how'd you sleep last night? Did you do the 1 to 8 breath technique? It's so simple. Thank you. Sanhaya, I don't know if I'm saying that, and if I'm not saying it correctly, I am so sorry, but thank you so much. And I even got a little kiss from you as well. Thank you so much. Sandia, thank you. I appreciate you. I really appreciate you spelling it out like that. So thank you so much. Lots of X's and kisses from you. Thank you so much. So the classes, all on Insight Timer, are donation based. If you want to make a donation, that's great. Even more so, what would be absolutely wonderful is if you would click on my profile and go follow me so you can find out when I drop new meditations. And I do have some new meditations, fresh ones on Insight Timer. But not only for you to enjoy them, but also it would be so important to me if you would leave a good rating and review, because the more you do that for me and all the teachers that you love here on Insight Timer, the easier it is for other people to be able to find us, right? And this is our community. I have spent so many years trying to find my community where I was meant to be, and Insight Timer is it. So I appreciate you. Oh, thank you, Melanie. I can't wait to meet you in person too. And Susie, thank you so much. I know, Susie, that you are local as well. So maybe some point we will meet as well. Yes, Pam, I know the teachers and the community here on Insight Timer is like no other place. So keep coming back next week. Anybody who's got kids, it's that time of year. Next week, we are doing Goodbye Anxiety, Hello Freedom, Back to School edition. So I will make sure and share strategies for you as parents, strategies that are simple enough. And you can see most of the strategies I share are simple enough to teach kids. And if you, what I said about going to the profile, if you click on the little circle that has my picture and says live, if you click on that, it should take you to my profile and you can follow me. And then you'll get notified when I'm doing lives, but also you can see what the different tracks are I have. And then if you would give it a good rating and review so other people can find me, I would so appreciate that, because I really want to help grow this community, because as we find our calm, it ripples out into our family, into our friends, into our neighbors. So find your calm. Come back next week, back to school edition, especially if we've got any mamas or papas who have a kid going off to college. Been there, done that. You'll be okay. Just come back next week. Mwah! Much love. Thank you so much.